Normally in June, Denver's high temperatures are between 85 and 87 degrees. This year, there have already been 12 days where the high temperature was 90 degrees or higher. There could be up to 4 more 90-degree days before June ends. If that happens, it would be the third most over the last 25 years. But is a warm June a harbinger of a hot summer to come? The data says yes. Those other years with abnormally hot Junes all finished with temperatures well warmer than average for the whole summer. In fact, all 13 of the latest abnormally warm Junes all finished warmer than average. The notorious record-breaking summer of 2012 recorded 73 90-degree days. 17 of those were in June. There is an average of 43 90-degree days every summer in Denver. One explanation could be the fact that large-scale weather patterns are very slow to change. The current pattern has frequent and strong domes of high pressure impacting Colorado, similar to 2012 and most of those other hot Denver summers. Meteorologist Cory Reppenhagen, 9 News.